everyone, anyone and no one, and welcome to a new edition of Little Lisa Reviews. In this episode I will be talking about War of the Worlds, which was at the Dominion Theatre. So this took place back a while ago, and it was a one-off special that was at the Dominion Theatre, as I said. They used a hologram of Liam Neeson, who was involved in the show before. Daniel Bedingfield was actually supposed to be taking part in this as the artilleryman, but unfortunately he wasn't there in my performance that I went to see, but it was Chris Jenkins. David Essex was there, who's a well-known singer. Heidi Range as the vicar's wife from the Heidi Range Sugar Babes? I think she was the Sugar Babes. And also Jimmy Nail from Auf Wiedersehen Pet, who was the vicar. The set was very steampunk, is the way to describe it. There was cogs, machinery, which was really cool. So the synopsis of War of the Worlds, if you don't know it, is set about a story of how Martians actually came to the world and took over the world, basically. We tried to show them peace, but they decided to take over. So this review, it was neither a play or a musical, because it was made up of segments. So there were some sections that were singing, there were some sections which was just word of mouth, some sections that were even just a hologram of Liam Neeson trying to connect each of these segments together, sort of narrating the story, which was good in some respects, but made the show a bit disjointed and sometimes quite difficult to tell when you could clap, like when you could show appreciation. So as I was saying, the surprising part of War of the Worlds was of Jimmy Nail from Auf Wiedersehen Pet. I knew that he had sort of random songs in the past where he had sung, but I didn't think that they were anything substantial. But the fact of that him during War of the Worlds actually showed that he could really sing, which was amazing. His character had a WTF moment where he had a crisis of faith, and basically he was blaming the voices of the aliens as being the voice of Satan on Earth, and that it was basically Satan trying to take over the Earth. One thing that I really loved about the show was the orchestra. The orchestra was so on point with the music. There was a lot of times where I thought I recognised the music, potentially with the very first song that they played. There was a few bars in it that I actually related it back to a McFly song, which was quite funny, but obviously I don't think it was the same, but it sounded very similar. However, the main problem I had with the show, which was a rather uncomfortable moment in the actual show. So in the section there was they're covered in this red vine stuff. It sort of like looked like, I can't really describe it, but they had people dressed up with these vines and such, and they were rolling around on the floor like the vines were growing, which was all good and well. But when you were watching the stage, you noticed in one of the corners that there was two actors that were practically like twisting themselves over one another, and it just looked wrong. I'm not a crude person, and I'm not a prude or anything, but it didn't really fit with what was going on, because my mind was then instantly always thinking about these two people just writhing around on the floor together. But anyway, overall, I only give this production 6 out of 10 because there was a lot of issues in the sense of with the control of sound. On some occasions you couldn't hear people talking when it had a talking part. Sometimes the music was too loud. There was no behind the scenes work wasn't as coherent as it could have been. But it was only in the Dominion Theatre until the end of April, which goes to show just how long it's taken me to actually sit down and do these reviews. But there you go, thank you for listening. If you have seen it, what were your thoughts? If you liked it, please tell me why you liked it. Was there a particular reason? If you agree with me and you didn't like it, why didn't you like it? I'd love to know. So leave them in the comments, and I will see you again for another Little Lisa Reviews. Bye.